I don't know how long this video will end up being. I had everything typed out that I wanted to talk about, and yeah, I'm mostly just gonna use this video to kind of ramble on about how I got here, how things are now, how I am compared to how I was back then. So I promise this is all very, very important, hence it being the 5-year anniversary. So uh, if you have the time to sit through however long this video ends up being, then please do. So I think, if I remember correctly, this all starts off back in October 23rd of 2018. That was the uh, day that I made my first remixing channel. I guess I should be specific about that. If I'm correct, then I believe one of the first names that I ever went by was either Fred Games or Fred Games SR, something along those lines. Sometime before 2019 came around, I started making my first remix. When I got Sony Vegas Pro 13, I was using Tor Taylor's tutorials since those were the only tutorials available at that time. Uh, yeah, those remixes that I made were very, very shit. And, you know, I would probably be shitting on myself too if there were, uh, if I was still like that today. But, you know, probably the first remix I ever made was like a Tobias and a Half Pariah remix or a Tugs remix. So it's most likely one of the Tobias and the Half Pariah remixes, but you know, either way, they were both terrible, and I don't even remember using the full bass, even though it was just unextended. It was also around that time as well that I would say I gained my first friends of the community, and those two I cherish very much. Uh, I cherish the memories that we kind of had back then. Those two being Jad and Wolfbat, who I think goes by Zark Wolfie now, but yeah, those two I remember we were not really close. We were more likely acquainted, but yeah. And then I guess I started popping off around the time of when Jad was doing a bunch of these other collabs. So he did the first Valis V2 collab and then the Central V1.5 collab, which, again, those parts were absolute trash. I hate those, which was why I ended up remaking both of them in the collab parts remade video. But still, nonetheless, I do cherish, I do appreciate them for kind of sticking with me through that. It was kind of sad when Wolfie decided that he wanted to leave the community for a bit, and then Jad got a lot better at what he does, and so it was kind of like the more popular he got, or the better that he got at remixing, he kind of left some things behind, which I know that's probably not what he was doing, but you know, it kind of hurt when I realized that it was just kind of left behind. But anyways, getting past the sad stuff, around the time of 2020, that's when I really started not really getting a lot better, but I was out of the point of just doing Vegas only and actually moving over to FL Studio, starting up there. And then that was also the point in time where I met both Cherry Bow and Mickey Spartan, and then that is when I really started popping off. I was like doing like multiple remixes a week. Like I would be lucky to get like 2 out a week. That was because I was during the summer months I was pumping out remixes left and right because I had a bunch of ideas. And then again, being friends with Cherbo and Mickey Spartan, that left opportunities to do collaborations. And then I ended up joining Cherry Bow's 2020 end of the year collab. and the rest is history. I believe the full remix of that part was the first video ever to get not 1,000 likes on that. So it was like really, really surreal to do that. And if I remember correctly, I think it was also around that time that PSR Studios was doing his contests. And so then I remember doing the Shed 17 plus Project G1 Antimatter remix, and that ended up being like my most viewed video with like over 100,000 views, which I'm still wondering why people still watch that one, but it's crazy. And then it was like around 2021 to 2022 where I met a bunch of different people. I met Manuel Bellini, Davey Gamer Coling, Userless, Sparta Oof, a bunch of like remixers who somewhat did Piggy at the time, or mostly did Piggy at the time, whichever one fits that description. But one of them, Manuel Bellini, would end up being like a lot bigger than he was back then. So it was almost like another Jad situation. And over the course of those 2 years, respectively, I was kind of going up in the world, if you can even call it that. But I was somewhat getting better. I was not really using FL Studio for percussions, but it still sounded good to me. And then it turns out that it didn't really sound as good to everyone else. So that kind of sucked to realize. And I also believe that during that same time frame, that I was invited to the Mylex's Seattle V2 collab, I think. Yeah, his second 6-part Seattle V2 collab specifically, and it was like I took a big step backwards, because that one absolutely sucked, and I cannot believe I didn't just either drop or just do better, because I have to agree with Mylex when he said that it was not my best work. And then he never invited me to another collab again, and then I remember trying to join his Upsilon collab, and he did not let me in. He didn't even say anything to me. He was just like, hey, so if we don't let you in, you're not really good enough. And I'm very, very sorry. But oh my gosh. So yeah, after that, we didn't talk for like another few months or so. So yeah, that was fun. But then, after all that had happened, I feel like those were the biggest events that came to be during my time. I feel like the most important parts were what I just mentioned, but yeah. And then around, when was it? It was like around close to the end of 2022, so almost a year ago now. I had heard some rumors about like Yoshi, the remixer, going around and talking with minors, trying to hook up with them, and then all that stuff. And so I was like, you know what? With how toxic the community had gotten in recent times, I was like, well, why don't I just make a video making awareness of it? And so then I just made a video talking about the video that Carmine had posted, where he confronted Yoshi for trying to hook up with someone who he thought was a minor. And I didn't expect the video to do well in terms of people bringing up more stuff that he did. And it was like after I had posted that video, people were coming out and saying like, hey, Yoshi has done some other pretty fucked up shit that you might want to talk about. And so I was like, shit, you know what, if you give me some more evidence that can fill up an entire second episode, then I'll be down for that. And not only did I get like enough evidence for like double the length of the first one, I also got invited to a group chat where they had talked with Yoshi. They had like all these screenshots of their conversations with Yoshi and other things that Yoshi had done, and one of them being one of the victims that had come out like saying that they had been groomed by Yoshi. And then the rabbit hole just got a lot deeper because more people were involved, not in the way that they were groomed by Yoshi, but because they were associated with him. And so with all that evidence, I started to realize that it's not really something I could make jokes about. Like, I couldn't make a video that was kind of humorous, because this is really fucked up shit that he's done. And so when I made the second video, I was talking about he's a delusional, lying, manipulative, narcissistic pedophile, and it was mostly because of these things that he's done. He was delusional because he didn't want to see what he was doing was wrong. He didn't think what he was doing was wrong. He was a liar because he tried lying at his way out of the situation by saying, "Oh my gosh, I realized what I did was wrong," and he didn't. He was manipulative because he was trying to manipulate others into being on his side, which ended up working for a little bit. He was narcissistic because, again, he didn't see what he was doing was wrong, and he always seemed to want to come out on top. And he was a pedophile for obvious reasons. I mean, multiple times he's been caught doing this. He was almost like the EDP of the Sparta Remix community, and I think that's what we see him as now. And honestly, if I didn't start making these videos, nobody would have had an idea. He wouldn't have tried covering it up, and he wouldn't have tried changing his identity so that way nobody could associate them with his old account. And I said it once and I'll say it again, him still being active on Discord and on YouTube is really, really fucked up, and it actually kind of makes me pissed off. In fact, on the topic of that, I was in a group chat at some point, and there were like two different remixers that kind of popped up on our side of the community, and needless to say, it was a little suspicious that they show up during a time that Yoshi had just been called out for being a pedophile and stuff, and we kind of thought that one of them had to be Yoshi. And then I saw both of them actually during the time of the Piggy V20 ATW collab, and I felt a little off-put to see them both there. Cherry Kappa not as much, but the other one that I don't think I want to name right now, but the other one was very off-put. And then come to find out sometime after that collab that very person that I was suspicious of actually ended up being confirmed to be Yoshi. Absolutely pissed me off because I fucking knew it. But that collab's done. There's nothing that we can really do now. So that absolutely sucks. But holy shit was I pissed off to find that one out. And then Sparta Cop didn't really go anywhere for a little bit, and I think I ended up making a video talking about someone trying to join a collab and impersonating Asura Suzuki, which was very, very stupid situation. I didn't even have to make a video on that, but I did give some people some laughs on that one, so I guess I'll take that as a win. I don't know if I'll ever do a video like that again, like that short and that unnecessary, but but at the time it was like, man, if this guy talks shit about me because I didn't let him into a collab, then there's going to be trouble. And then we get to the Alex Plays situation versus Mugusterius, which Mugman, I'm sorry that I called you Mug. Oh my god, I thought he seemed kind of pissed that I was calling him Mug throughout the entire thing, but whatever. That video ends up taking off because it was bigger than Yoshi in terms of how known it was. And surprisingly enough, the two main people that it was about both reacted to it. And oh my gosh, I didn't expect for it to be as big as it was, even though it was not really the most popular video on my channel. The fact that so many people saw that one and it ended up doing as good as my average remix was very surreal, to say the least. And it kind of ticked me off a little bit that it was revealed that Alex was only starting the drama because he didn't want his channel to be dead. And, you know, it's kind of a stupid reason for that. I mean, if you want to make your channel more active, you gotta upload more. You gotta have quality content on your channel, whether it be the gaming videos that he does on his channel or the remixes that he does on his remixing channel. Like, attacking somebody just because they watch anime is obviously not the best way to go about making your channel as active as it once was. But the main thing that I was really pissed about was the fact that, you know, he was doing all this shit and he does all these memes about Ronnie McNutt and all these other people who have taken their lives, sadly. You know, it kind of pisses me off that he still wants to do that, but you know, I can't really stop him from doing that. So the best thing I can really do is just, you know, just not associate with him anymore. So I would say that's probably the most of what happened throughout my 5 years in the Sparta Remix community. But yeah, hopefully this video wasn't boring to sit through. Hopefully it was, you know, somewhat of a trip down memory lane for those who have been with me the past few years. It's I genuinely believe that I would not be here today if it wasn't for all the people that I've met throughout the community. That is something that I genuinely feel in my soul. So I, again, thank you so much, whoever I've mentioned to be a significant part of my time here in the community. I genuinely thank you for being there with me through that time. So as we near the end of this video, I wanted to thank specific people who have made a big change in my life. I wanted to thank people who specifically had made my time here in the community a lot more pleasant than it needed to be. Of course, first off, I want to start by thanking Jad and Zark Wolfie, my first ever friends in the community. I am very appreciative to have known you through the time that we had. Dashi the Remixer 113, going from fan to friend was absolutely surreal, and you know, I'm very appreciative to have had been friends with you as well during that time. Milex, it was a pleasure to meet you up until the point of the Seattle V2 collab. I am very, very sorry about the part. Please forgive me. Chris, bro, just a little bit of time that we've known each other, and I just want to thank you for just being one of the biggest inspirations as to why I kept going up until this point. Kenyon W, also an OG friend from the very beginning. Very happy to have done these collabs and team collabs with you as well. Manuel Bellini, to be completely honest, it was very nice to have met you. To be completely honest, you were the closest friend that I had that also ended up being one of the best remixers I've ever seen. Mugsterious, Coffee, Blaze, I believe Jordan as well, everybody who was in the drama with Alex. Very nice that we've all come together at such a terrible time. Carmine, Hot Dog Biden, anyone else who was involved in helping with calling out Yoshi. I feel like it was a big step into a new series of calling out shitty people in the community. Oh, and of course we could not forget Yoshi. Give a hand up for Yoshi. That stupid cunt made Sparta Cop a thing. Jesus fucking Christ. Freddy Game Player, obviously very talented at what he does in the Max Mode community, but even though he wasn't necessarily a part of the remixing side of my life, he definitely showed me that there was other things that I could do, and honestly, he's just a really good person, and I appreciate him for that immensely. And last but not least, I wanted to give a huge thank you to Cherrybow. Without her, I definitely would not have been here today. I probably would have quit a while ago if it was not for meeting her. And I thank God that I was able to meet someone like her, because just to have that one person in the community who is very genuine in how they are was very crucial in my development as a remixer. And even though they aren't into remixing as much anymore, I just wanted to give a huge thank you to them for being such a big chunk of what I do now. And I don't think I will ever forget something like that. For everyone who I have mentioned, except for Yoshi, fuck Yoshi, everyone who I have just mentioned, I appreciate every single one of you, and I cherish the amount of time that I was able to spend with you, whether it be really, really small or really, really big. I appreciate every single one of you, and I honestly would not be here if it wasn't for you all, and especially to every single one of my 1.7 thousand subscribers. Without you, I would not want to keep going. So again, thank you so very much for being with me these past 5 years. With that being said, I think it's time that I answer the big question. A question that I believe every remixer is going to have to answer yes to at some point in their lives. The question being, am I going to quit remixing? The short and very vague answer is yes, but not entirely. What I mean by that is I'm not necessarily leaving the community, and I'm not necessarily quitting remixing, but what I am saying is that I won't be focusing on remixing as much as I used to. I'm not going to be able to pump out a remix every 1 or 2 weeks like I wanted to do for so long. What I wanted to be able to do for so long, just be pumping out remixes. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Now, of course, I'm not going to be leaving the community. I don't think leaving a community that is made up a big portion of who I am is something that I really want to do, and I don't want to lose the people who I really appreciate. Needless to say, there will be the occasional remix or two every few months, but don't expect a lot. And since I'm not leaving the community, that obviously means that I'm going to continue Sparta Cop. I feel like if somebody does a shitty thing, they should be called out on it, whether they want to admit their mistake or not. And speaking of other projects that I wanted to do, like the Thomas the Tank Engine voiceover collab, the voiced up collab, the gaming videos that I wanted to do with a few friends, and of course the SR project. I hope that'll be the official name of it. I'm not sure. But those projects I do still want to continue, but I'm just not sure if this is the channel that I want to post it on, or if I just want to make a new channel. Of course, even though I'm kind of distancing myself from remixing, I'm not going to delete my channel. I'm not going to unlist all my videos. I feel like that would kind of make some people mad. So I'm going to just leave them up for memory's sake, or just leave it up for as kind of like an archive of some sort. But of course, as I've said before, if the channel ends up getting taken down at any point for any reason whatsoever, feel free to download those videos and archive them as you wish. Now, I know this video is already like really long, and it's just a bunch of random stuff that I kind of threw out there besides the appreciation to specific people. But if you watched my second Q&A video, you would know that there were two questions, or two people that I didn't answer the questions to, but because I felt like this video would be the perfect place to answer them. So without further ado, I will answer those questions real quick. Will you still continue making Sparta remixes? Other than short remixes, are you going to make longer remixes anytime soon? So, to answer the first question, obviously, no, I'm not quitting Sparta remixes technically, but it's going to be a long time before you get one. And to answer the second question, it's actually going to be short remixes that are going to be rarer than the longer remixes. If I ever decide that I want to make a remix again, it'll probably be a long one, depending on your definition of a long remix. The short ones I may not want to do. I think if I want to make a remix, I'll just do a full thing. I don't know if I want to do more short ones that don't get as much attention. And then the last question, will you make a YTPMV channel? Honestly, yeah, it would probably be the best decision to make one. I don't think I would want to make YTPMVs on the Sparta Remix channel. I'll probably just make another one for that, and it'll be a good restart, a good refresh. So that'll probably be the best decision. Okay, now I think I've gotten everything covered. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say. Just thank you everybody for sticking with me for 5 years. I wish you all the very, very best, except for Yoshi. Fuck him. But yeah, thank you so much for sticking with me through this entire thing. Happy 5 years. Thank you for almost 2,000 subscribers. We were so close, but I'll take what I can get. Thank you all so much, and take care.